It's not really the men who were sitting behind bars. Yes, they were deprived of their freedom. Mama, it was the women. It was the women who were caught up in the crossfire. It was the women who fought battles, running battles with the police. It was the women who didn't know where the next plate of food would come from. It was the women who had given birth to those men on Robben Island. Ngabafazi abakhulula eli lizwe.
The nation is in mourning. We mourn a struggle icon, a woman who was known for her steadfast beliefs as well as the fight against apartheid. Now we enjoy this freedom namhlanje because umama uMadikizela Mandela. Now these women behind me are here to pay tribute and pay homage to the struggle icon who played such an important role in liberating South Africa. See expressions nathi sithi lalangoxolo Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela.
If we are to do anything with legacies such as Mama Winnie, is to not just always remember the tough woman, the one who'd push away security police, the one who would be fighting the battles that had to be fought on the street, but also to think of the one who was a mother, the one who was a wife to a husband who was in prison for 27 years, the one who had to make sense of family life when it didn't make sense at all. And I want to plead with young people particularly. You can say many things about any one of our leaders. You can throw stones at these legacies, but as we do so, let's do it with a touch of honesty about how deep these legacies helped us to get where we are.
We have to celebrate Mama's legacy throughout our lifetime. When we all said hashtag, I am Winnie Mandela. Mama lives in all of us. Her spirit lives on. And it cannot be only for the next 10 days as we celebrate her passing, but it really should be in the legacies that we live every day to impact lives, to change lives, to make a difference so that her legacy may live on. It mustn't be that now that she's passed, we're singing her glory. What are we taking from her journey, her struggle, to make sure that we create a better world, a better South Africa, where women have a voice, where the girl child has a voice? It's incumbent upon us that we make sure that Umama's legacy doesn't go in terror.
A truly beautiful insert that hails the life and the times of our stalwart, Umama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. And on that note, we want to say hello, Dumelang, Sanbonani, South Africa. Welcome to Expressions, your #1 current affairs show. And if you don't know this by now, Expressions is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
Your #1 youth current affairs show. I'm your host, Umxolisi Wagamasango. Now, Jackie, we continue this Tuesday evening as we continue to honor the legacy of Imbokodo, the official mother of the nation. Now, today, Jackie Siabuzage, will young South Africans be able to uphold the values of Umama Winnie Mandela?
Well, that's a very important question, and hopefully by the end of the show, we'll be able to answer that. South Africa has declared 10 days of national mourning for Umama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the anti-apartheid activist who died last week Monday. An hour after the news broke, Twitter went abuzz, with mainly young people expressing their love and gratitude for the late icon. Go.
Yeah, Jackie, see expressions. We indeed took to the streets to find out, Pela Oguti, what is that significant role that Umama Winnie played in the lives of Ulusha. Do take a look at this.
Igama lami nguBongiwe Banda. Namhlanje we are unpacking on uMama uWinnie Madikizela Mandela. I want to know from you young people, what do you guys know about uMama uWinnie?
Ma'am, into endiyaziyo ngomama ukuba usifundise ukuba sikwazi ukuzimela, siqine, sibe ngabomama akumele bamele amalungelo wabo.
She fought for freedom in South Africa. She saw ukuthi she cannot stand oppression from the white people in South Africa.
Even though the circumstances that she went through, her husband going to prison and all that, she stood firm and she showed that women are indeed amabhokot.
She left us with a great legacy, and we can actually follow up to that. We can actually teach our children and grandchildren about her, because she has been a very good person and she has been a fighter for South Africa, and we thank her for that.
I've learned a lot from her, like courage, bravery and stuff like that. So she's been a very good person and I hope her legacy lives on.
Umama oslwele for our freedom.
uMama uWinnie Madikizela Mandela had values of perseverance, persistence. She had great courage and determination. So do you guys think that the youth of South Africa today can uphold uMama uWinnie's place?
Definitely, yes, her courage, one for one, I'll take her courage and her confidence. She was very fierce, so I'm taking that with me. Thank you. Yeah, I believe that her determination and her patience throughout everything that she went through can lead us into this world's generation.
I feel like Ama values like he will live much longer. If she can do it, we all can do it.
I think we're very much capable of carrying out the legacy of Winnie Madikizela Mandela and fight for our rights and stand for what is right for our country.
So those were some of the comments coming from the street, from you young people, about this also important discussion that we're going to be having in studio tonight. But to help me do this, because I never do it by myself, I'm joined by very special guests in studio. I'm joined by Unompendulo Mkajwa, who is the former Wits SRC president, and I'm joined by Umzwanele Mchwanti. Welcome to Expressions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad we're represented today. And of course, they say the best things come in twos. If you're wondering what's happened to my co-host Mkolisi, he is on our social media corner bringing some of your insights and perceptions on this topic that we're having about the icon, the stalwart, uMama uWinnie Mandela. Guys, let's get straight to it. I think it was interesting that some of the comments that came across is just, it's a very divisive sort of a narrative. There is an understanding that uMama Winnie was human through and through, but we cannot ignore the contribution that she has made. And I think I want to start with you, Nempundulo. What kind of legacy do you think she's left behind? I think especially for young people, but most especially for young female leaders coming out of South Africa.
I think as a young woman leading in a very patriarchal society, and of course because the society we live in is patriarchal, it only makes sense that the organizations that we lead in will therefore become patriarchal. And I think what a lesson that young women who are leading can take from uMama uWinnie Madikizela Mandela is that we need to persevere, resilience, and that it can be made so much easier if we stand together as young women. I sometimes want to ask, where were the other women when Mama Winnie was going through the sort of criticism that she was going through? And maybe they were there. And if they were there, then we must take those lessons to say, as women in society, we need to stick together and we need to push through the patriarchy and the chauvinism that we experience within our society.
And talking about stand together as women, I mean, you actually went to vote with her. Yeah. I think tell us a little bit about that, because I think a lot of us, we see them from afar, but I think for someone like you who went to share such a monumental moment with her, I mean, being able to vote is part of the reason why she fought so hard. It's part of the reason why she sacrificed so much. So what was that like for you?
It's like being able to experience a moment that, like you're saying, that she fought for with her. So she's voting. It's something she fought to be able to do, but she also fought for myself to be able to do. And that was an amazing moment for me. I was with Shira at that time. We went with Shira as well, who was my president, the president who came before me, and we're also with Keenan, better known as AKA. And funny enough, Umama, you know, I mean, you think that she'd really know Shira and I, because she's in Bogota. Who did she say, oh,
oh, hey, like a groupie. She said, oh, hey, to Keenan, to AKA. And Shira and I felt so left out. We're like, hi, you know.
We're the one making the social changes.
Do you know what I'm saying? But and that's the kind of person that she was.
Yeah.
She could identify with so many people in society. And it's just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, said this, in the midst of repression, she was a voice of defiance and resistance. And when we talk about resistance and defiance, it's literally the building block of what is spiraling and championing some of the youth movements that we see in the country. I think as a young person, I just wanted to find out, do you feel that we're being true, really true, to that spirit of resistance, to that spirit of defiance as young people, to say we want to see change, we want to see change now and in our lifetime?
Thank you. I think that in the recent past in South Africa, there's been a lot of changing in the social constructs as the young people have started to raise their voices and the young leaders have come out of the material conditions. So we've learned so much from Umamawini, and what you can say for sure is that the politics that she would speak of, I mean, to see real change in the lives of the people, because she's a product of the people, unlike other leaders that you see being idealized. But Mama Winnie came out of the people of Soweto. And that's another part that you can say for sure about her. And another part is that some of the politics that she fought for, such as our right to self-determination, you know, the empowerment of women, that you've seen the women living in everyday life, you know, from a broken family. You see young South Africans today questioning the most fundamental things such as patriarchy, you know, questioning as to why access to education is so expensive, questioning as to why you have the situation where culture is used to oppress people. What you so-call the third wave of feminism is finding expression amongst the people of South Africa. And those are the things that Mama Winnie fought for. So you can say for sure that the younger generation is upholding some of the principles that Mama Winnie have fought for. They may not necessarily be as such, but you can say for sure that the younger people in the country have been able to determine their path and are fighting for it.
So I guess Umama, if you're to watch young people today, should be absolutely proud because we reflect everything that her spirit represented. You're young people, you're watching Expression. Make sure you don't move. On the flip side of this is Mkolisi bringing some of your insight and perceptions. You're watching Expressions. We'll be back right after this.
I guess you're still watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. We continue to celebrate the life and times of Umama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. See Expressions City, hats off ma. Will young South Africans be able to uphold the values of Umama Winnie Madikizela Mandela? Of course, I'm joined by Utumi Makhobo, who's a fashion designer who made a collection who was dedicated to Umama Winnie Madikizela. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we get into your awesome collection, Nompendulo, just a quick question that came through our social media where people wanted to know, how do we use Mama's passing to unite us as a nation?
We need to take all the values and ideologies and the principles that she stood by and stood for, whatever pillar, when society and flesh and humanity was letting her down, there were these ideals that she stood by. We need to let those ideals push us, which goes back to the question of, will the youth be able to uphold her legacy? It's not about being able to, because we can't be sangamic about this issue. We don't know what the future holds, but we can live by it every day. We can commit ourselves to her being.
Dumi, we cannot be sangamic about this. And of course, now with social media, some other young people saying that, you know, it's not possible for Ulusha to uphold those values because, first of all, you guys like to take each other down. Would you agree with the statement that just came through?
Well, to be honest, I want to go back to what she was saying, like being sangomic. I think for me, coming from that type of background, you know, her spirit spoke to me, you know, hence I came up with this collection weeks before she passed on because I wanted to celebrate her asapila, you know, because most of the time we just celebrate people or icons when they're dead. Like, why not have this hype every day, you know? So I was like, you know what? We're going to have these slave queens wearing all these revolutionary dresses, you know, so that they can also be curious about these icons, you know, so...
So, ubabiza ngama slave queens?
We are all slay queens.
Okay,
queens.
Wazani slay queens. Come on to the set. Let's just have a look at these outfits here. Which Kuyabona now, I'm sure will pick up pieces very soon.
Yes.
This is very interesting. Tell me the inspiration behind these, because I see some of the textures leather.
Yes, it is actually soft leather. What I call this range the revolutionary range.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to celebrate all the revolutionary women that actually contributed to our struggle. So all the names are there. So Botandiswa Mazwai, Abo Ntsiki Biko, Abo Yvonne Chaka Chaka, you know, because they're all artists, you know, whether you're political or whatnot, it's an artist, it's an art in itself, you know. So I wanted to celebrate them, and I see the youth wearing it with pride, you know, and being conscious about it through our garments. So I feel like as an artist, I also have a responsibility to actually voice out and liberate our young queens.
Wow.
So,
and you chose quite strong personalities to put there. I know Sister Thandiswa Mazwai was also at the memorial service with us yesterday. Thank you so much,
so
ladies.
Let's celebrate her now while she's still alive. You know, let's wear her garments. Let's, you know, you know.
Okay. Thank you so much, ladies. You can step aside right now whilst I look at my social media pages. Now, Mundomusha Uyazna, we continue this conversation on Facebook as well as on Twitter. And Numandla says that I don't think they will be one out of this current generation, because ladies of today, they pull each other down. For instance, they hardly support each other as women. I think today's women's generation is more focused on drinking and partying, unlike the generation of Umama Winnie Mandela, where they had a struggle of changing policies that oppressed women. Slindile says, only if they work hard towards achieving their goals and forget about drugs and alcohol. Now, there's another one that says, me as a young one, I think I will uphold Mama Digizela's values and legacy, especially taking care of the disabled ones, because it's not only going to end with them. Goodman says, young adults out there are doing things that many old people failed to do. Take, for example, Fana Khoza here in Hammersdale, and of course does mention his local hero. Now, I saw you frantically nodding there with some of the points that were made. I'm going to come back to that. Kodwa Muntomusha, as you do know, that we moved that from this wall to find out what you also have to say on our WhatsApp line, and this is your expression for this week.
Hi Expressions, this is Kenzani Chalke, and I believe that young people do not understand the struggle, what Abu Mamwini Madikizela Mandela went through in the past, because we are failing to fight for what we believe is true. That is the reason why I'm saying we do not understand the struggle.
Mzwanele, I'm going to let you take that one. It seems like Batiti Nabantabashas understand the Intebelelo Abu Mamwini Madikizela. What's your take?
I think that the young people understand what's going on in the country, and young people actually have a vision that they want to lead in the country. You have got two fundamental problems in South Africa: ageism problem and patriarchy. These have made everyone seem so unable to lead, so unable to be productive in the space, because the space itself rejects anything that looks like a woman or that looks like a leader that can empower themselves without being a man. So the problem that we have in society is not necessarily that women cannot lead themselves, but you have a stereotypic thinking, like Mandla, for instance, who looks at a woman and think, these ones can't work as hard as Mama did, you know. Whereas you have in every day women that wake up, I mean, I know many of them, that wake up every day and work to make sure that the lives of the people around them and those of the marginalized people are better off. But you have a situation where we need to call out patriarchy in society.
Well, it also starts with the gentleman. Dumi, would you agree with that?
I do agree with
because,
that,
I mean,
fully
you use fashion in a way to also get your message across, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I do agree to that, fully so, especially how the patriarchal system always brings the woman down, you know. So it's also up to us as women to uplift each other, you know. So my responsibility as an artist, because Umama Winnie Mandela, she supported artists. She would go to Amaholweni, I support abo Brenda Fassie, I support abo Mama Yvonne Chaka Chaka, you know. So it's also my responsibility as an artist, to bring out to liberate our young girls, you know,
And tell us
because
about
the media
this
is not doing
award-winning
that.
collection of yours. Yeah.
Oh my God, that.
Yeah, she's gonna flash.
Yeah, I think for that, the purpose was fulfilled for me.
Yeah.
Because my message, it just came at the right time. I don't know, like, that's what I'm saying, like, her spirit spoke to me in a way, you know, so the timing was just so perfect.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I wanted to celebrate Asapila, but now it's time for us to really celebrate even Nalaba Asapila. Let it be, yes.
It's very important to celebrate Amakawe to Asapila. Thank you so much, Siswami, for joining us. This conversation does indeed continue on the back side of this. And also don't forget that Jack is on standby to wrap it up for us. This is Expressions.
Welcome back. You are still watching Expressions, your #1 current affairs show. And today we are doing something really special. We are celebrating the life and the times of the mother of the nation. And I want to say the mother of the continent because there's nobody like Umama Madikizela Mandela. And the question that we're asking you this evening as a young person is, do you feel that as young people in South Africa that we are able to uphold the values of this amazing stalwart? And guys, I'm really unfortunate that we have run out of time. I mean, there's so much to say about her, but I think let me just find out from you. I think Nompendulo, how should we be celebrating her? How do we make sure that her legacy, what she represented, does not die with her, but it is part of our future and she is continually part of everything that we do as young people?
As individuals who are different in our nature and in our makeup, and acknowledging that she was a dynamic individual, let us all be allowed to take from her what we want to take from her. So the mothers, the wives, the activists, the members of the LGBTQIA+ community, everybody who could resonate with Mama, take what you want to take from her and keep it with you and move and celebrate her. And as an African, I want to say, can we be allowed to mourn Mama and celebrate her life in peace? If you have other remarks about her, Suzagbana, in the future, but right now as an African, I believe that we must be allowed to celebrate her life in peace.
And just in closing, Zwanele, what is your takeaway as a young person?
Thanks, Sissy. What I'm just mine is to say that we must continue to live up to the legacies that Mama spoke about, and the young people out there must take themselves to school. They must fight for their right to self-determination, and young people must continue to fight to express themselves. And we must say, down with patriarchy, down with patriarchy.
Down with patriarchy. Thank you so very much, guys. Thank you for your insight, for your enlightenment. I think a lot of food for thought that you've given us today. Thank you so much.
Indeed, guys.
Can we say the line?
Yes, please.
She didn't die.
She multiplied.
She multiplied. Viva! Viva!
What I also liked about her is that she also said that people must just keep their remarks away and allow us to celebrate her life in peace. We always encourage you to also tell us what you want us to talk about. This is why we check in with your video diary.
My name is Paulina. I would like Expression to discuss about why sanitary towels are not for free whilst protections are given out for free, and having sex is just a choice while going for your dates it comes naturally.
Looking forward to that one.
Looks
Looks like a very
right?
interesting one indeed. Mzansi Afrika, siphinde sibonge phela ukuthi nisiboleke indlebe. We're back once again next week. See Expressions lala ngoxolo Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. And until we meet again, we say have a spectacular evening going forward. Zahara is playing us off.
Amanda.
Amanda.
Strength of a woman comes from within. You may get it down today. She'll surely come around. Strength of a woman comes from within. You can get it down today. She will surely come around. kamisa